that is erasing all of the genuine diversity in our society. One of its core messages is negative utilitarianism. The core evil thing in the world is human suffering, and that human happiness just doesn't really matter, or it is largely outweighed by human suffering, and therefore it's better if humans don't exist. And that's the end goal for the urban monoculture, I think, for a lot of people.
What do you mean when you say urban monoculture?
Well, okay, so this sort of gets down into like my personal politics to some extent, but I think that if you look at society right now, it's largely becoming divided into two factions, and there has been a major political shift around what conservative and progressive means. The progressive is the party of this urban monoculture, which is a single sort of cultural group or virus that infects other cultural institutions and erases whatever makes them unique and aligns all of their goals. So if I talk with a progressive Muslim or a progressive Jew or a progressive Catholic or a progressive Unitarian Universalist, and I scratch beneath the surface, often their morals, their views on gender, their views on what future they want for the world are all very, very similar. If I look at conservatives from each of those factions, their worldviews are very different. And what the conservative party seems optimized around, so where the liberal party is optimized around the goals of this monoculture, so spreading the monoculture and reducing in the moment human suffering. That's why they promote things like haze, like don't tell somebody that it's unhealthy to be fat because that could hurt their feelings in the moment, even though obviously it's bad for them in the long term. But the conservative movements all have in very distinct cultural histories, which they are trying to preserve. And that is often, if I look at the conservative movement today, it's an alliance of these older traditions and newer but deviant and distinct traditions that are trying to maintain cultural fidelity and exist 100, 200 years from now. And so when I talk about the monoculture, that's what I'm talking about. This thing that wants to, when my kids go to school, say, this is what correct morality is. This is the way you should see the world. And if your parents are telling you anything else, they're deplorable and wrong.